What's up, everybody? Today I will be doing a full in-depth recap, personal as well as journaling and checklist in this video. Recapping today's price action, some key points from today's price action, good fade example that you should have faded. I don't think there should be any losses today. I don't think there was any valid losses. So if you took a loss, you should probably reflect on that. Personally, I got two full TP eval dubs, and it was a super easy buys going into the day. So let's get started. So on the 4 hour, we saw that we have this external SMT present on NQ because we set this low that was being held by that daily buy side imbalance. So at this point, I am saying if we get super good bearish displacement and no reaction from this SMT, we're probably going to these weekly lows or sweeping this low on NQ. However, as on pre-market, with pre-market structure, we see that we are actually getting that reversal structure and reaction from these lows on ES. So we are holding that SMT. Not only that, we are also disrespecting bearish and respecting bullish. So at this point, I'm fully bullish up until this key level or these imbalances or possibly this swing high. But overall, I'm super bullish going into the day up until these key levels. For this session, most likely this draw. I set my areas of conditions just in case we start really disrespecting this range and we wanted to rebalance this bearish range, and then for New York AM for us to continue in that bearish order flow. I set these conditions, which got respected. So in that case, we stayed bullish. Super good example. Now, what do we do on open? We tap into this super mitigated gap in London. I know some people took this. I don't. It's mechanically it's pretty bad. I wouldn't put risk on the table for this trade right here. This inverse TT time to close is bad. Super mitigated gap, and it's not even high resistance at your stop loss. We have slanted high time frame slanted lows. So what happens? We continue ripping, and I know some people took this short. I am unsure on what the fuck we tapped for someone to do this. However, I'm just not looking at shorts. We are so bullish. It was probably like a gap on ES or something. But I don't think this is protected. Maybe a little bit protected. But at this point, I'm just so bullish. I don't even see this opportunity. Like, must have been like someone gaslighting themselves. There's no high time frame key level being hit. All these imbalances are like kind of mid. We already like rebalance equilibrium of the range, so this would be kind of invalid. I would be looking, if I'm bearish, I would be looking for more of like a continuation short off of bearish order flow confirmation instead of trying to just guess that reversal, you know? So I think these losses are pretty fucking horseshit. And yeah, continuing into session. If we have my little session thing here. I'm looking at these gaps being formed. I'm trying to see these sponsored gaps. No gaps. I think this is a 15-minute. So 10 a.m. We just have super mid manipulation. So I'm in my head. I'm like, okay, the hourly gap is just holding as the sponsored gap for us to distribute with that bullish order flow. So I'm just going to look for a good gap to get that cont off. And we'll see how it goes, right? But as we are building these gaps, we're just not mitigating them, and we're leaving them and edging them. Right here, we actually edge the gap. I don't like that. But we're getting closer and closer to this draw. At this point, I'm already like putting risk off of XFAs as a whole because I just don't. High time frame draw after this key level is just kind of butt. It's not that great. Maybe that imbalance, but I just think the session did its job already, essentially. And I don't see any reason why we would just continue further on New York. So at this point, I take my hands off of XFAs completely because even if I short, I'd be fading a super bullish trend. Because even Mex here, like, we are just not I wasn't super convicted as with mechs. We don't really have a lot of generated liquidity. We just have empty and unmitigated imbalances, and I like normally taking mech shorts when we have generated targets on the way. So right now I am off of XFAs, and if I take a mech, it would be on um on eval. So yeah, we take this draw, and then we get a really big 1 minute imbalance on this leg. It inverses right here. I only need a 1 to 0.7. 1 to 0.7 for my evals to get that 1500 threshold. So I take it. My break even on one eval is at this 5 minute imbalance, but there's another 5 minute imbalance here and a 15 minute opened up here if you want like slightly better manipulation. I honestly just thought we were going to respect this 5 minutes, so that's why I went break even on one of them. I normally don't even like going break even on evals, but I might just start doing that of going break even on one and not on the other. But yes, regardless, I hit full TP. In my opinion, this is like a C plus trade. This is my checklist. Sorry about this. Hold on. This is about a C plus trade. This is my checklist. It's just mechanically terrible. Terrible time to close. Not a sponsored gap. No true manipulation. We are in a super buy model. We are just super bullish. Time. Good time actually. Yeah, it's just kind of whack. I don't love it. I was pretty convicted. It's not the most non-conviction. It's getting more saved for the narrative because of the narrative. But yeah, the narrative is what really saves this trade even a little bit. Even with that added, I think it's still a C plus trade.